Topping our news, what made the Youngstown Mafia run and what made it fall. In a moment, we'll hear from the first time from investigators who brought down the mob. But first, a federal judge in Cleveland today sentenced 2 former Valley police officers who were among those charged in the FBI's investigation of organized crime. Gerald Kish and Andrew Rosen will spend 5 months in a halfway house and 5 months house arrest. They were charged with obstruction of law enforcement.
Both will also serve 300 hours of community service and 2 years supervised release. The charges stem from the original sweep that produced the indictment of former mob boss Lenny Strollo.
Of course, those 2 former cops were part of a larger operation. Lenny Strollo admitted to his crimes last month. Less than 2 weeks ago, a jury convicted the last of his top soldiers, Bernie Altshuler, Levance Turnage, and Jeff Riddle. At that time, the lead prosecutor commended the men who made the case against the mob.
There were 3 agents, Bob Kroner, John Stull, and Gordon Clow, who literally sacrificed large portions of their lives.
Clow's moved to a posting in San Diego, but Stull and Kroner are still pursuing other cases that may spring from the convictions they've won. They didn't do it just by targeting the boss, Lenny Strollo.
The bottom line was that we focused on the enterprise, and the enterprise was subsequently convicted.
The gambling, they thrive on that. They need that. And that's the easiest way to start the investigation and get at them. That's where we started first. And then we hoped that it would lead to public corruption, and in the end it did.
Ultimately, the agents knew elected officials were in the mob's pocket. The hard part was proving it. The agents wiretapped the phones of Mafia associates and bugged Strollo's house. It meant a staggering workload of monitoring and paperwork. Over the course of 13 months, Stoll took just 20 days off. Kroner only 10. But the agents want to stress they were not alone.
And sometimes as many as 5 people a shift, 2 shifts a day. We had agents and support people coming from the FBI office in Cleveland coming down to help this.
But it yielded roughly 2,000 audio tapes and the evidence to squeeze people.
We were able to take a lot of the lower and mid-level people involved in the enterprise's activities and use those tape-recorded conversations to roll them into being government witnesses.
Of course, in a town this size, it wasn't unusual for the investigators to accidentally cross paths with the people they were targeting.
All the time, you see them stores, churches, restaurants.
Like the time Kroner and his family were just leaving this place as Strollo and his family were waiting for a table. Kroner said, "Hello, Lenny."
So we normally exchange hellos and go about our business.
While many of those criminals are behind bars tonight, Kroner and Stoll know others may replace them if good citizens aren't vigilant.
Whether it be us in law enforcement or it just be the everyday Joe who goes to place his vote once or twice a year, it's going to be those good people to bring this valley back.
Now, the agents reiterated their thanks to the local police and state agents who helped make the prosecution possible.
Joe, the agents seem to have an awful lot of faith that people of this area will reject any more control of organized crime. I have to ask you, though, I was very surprised when Lenny Strollo decided to testify against his old friends. Do you know why he decided to do that?
You know, I asked Kroner that, and he said he wasn't all that surprised because they laid out so much information there. And Strollo was a relatively intelligent man. He said he believes that Strollo saw this as his only chance to possibly, maybe someday, get out of jail as opposed to going to prison for the rest of his life.
Okay. Thank you very much, Joe. Fascinating story.